Not negotiating your salary on day one can cost you over $1 million in lifetime earnings. One conversation, $1 million. And that's not a made-up number. That's Carnegie Mellon research. Here's the part nobody tells you. Most employers expect you to negotiate. They build room into the offer. Money you never see because you never ask. Most people stay silent. They leave thousands on the table. Not because they're unqualified, not because they don't deserve more, because nobody ever taught them what to say. And that silence doesn't just cost you today, it shapes every raise after that, every promotion, every future offer, all built on the number you accept right now. One weak conversation can quietly cost you hundreds of thousands, or even more, over your lifetime. But the real problem isn't fear, it's the scripts. In the next 9 minutes, I'm giving you the exact word-for-word scripts to negotiate a new job offer, ask for a raise, and handle it when they say no. Plus one 6-word question that can move the salary number almost every single time. But first, let me show you how powerful this actually is. Marcus is 29 years old, lives in Atlanta, software engineer. Last year, he got a job offer from a mid-sized tech company. Base salary, $87,000. He was excited. He was going to accept on the spot. Then his older sister, who works in HR, stopped him. She said 3 words that changed his finances forever. Ask for more. Marcus had never negotiated anything in his life. He was terrified they would rescind the offer. He thought he would seem greedy. His sister gave him a script. He practiced it 3 times out loud. Then he sent one email. 48 hours later, the company came back. New offer, $96,000. A $9,000 raise. From one email. Over a 35-year career, with typical 3% annual raises. That $9,000 compounds into over $450,000. From 48 hours. From one script. Here's what the research shows. Fidelity found that 85% of people who negotiated got at least some of what they asked for. Pew Research found that 66% of people who countered on starting salary got the full amount they asked for. Employers expect it. Many hiring managers actually respect candidates who negotiate, because advocating for yourself is the same skill they want you to use when advocating for the company. The fear is not the problem. The scripts are the problem. Most people have no idea what to say, so they say nothing. Here is the first script. For when you receive a new job offer, do not accept on the call. Do not counter on the call. Say this exact phrase. Thank you so much for the offer. I am really excited about this opportunity. I would like to take 24 to 48 hours to review the details and get back to you. Is that okay? That is it. Never say more than that in the first call. Then you hang up, you do your research, and you send one email. Here is the exact email template. Subject: following up on the offer for the senior developer role. Hi, David. Thank you again for extending this offer. After reviewing the role, the scope, and the market data for this position, I want to open a conversation about the base salary. Based on my research through Glassdoor, Levels.fyi, and Robert Half's 2026 Salary Guide. Roles at this level in this market typically pay between $95,000 and $105,000. Given my 5 years of experience, my work on the payments platform at my last company, and the specialized skills I bring, would you be able to move the base to $98,000? I am genuinely excited to join the team and want to make this work. Looking forward to your thoughts. Marcus, notice what this email does. It uses data, not emotion. It gives a specific number, not a round number. And it ends with genuine excitement about the role. Research shows specific numbers get 10% more success than round numbers because they signal you did actual research. Script 2. For asking for a raise at a job you already have. This part is harder for most people, but the approach is the same. 2 weeks before the conversation, send this message to your manager. Hi, Sarah. I would like to schedule 30 minutes in the next 2 weeks to discuss my performance and compensation. Would next Thursday at 2 p.m. work? That is all. No details, no justification. You are setting the frame, not negotiating an email. In that meeting, you say this: Sarah, I want to talk about my compensation. Over the last 12 months, I have led the Q3 client onboarding project, saved the team approximately 80 hours per quarter through the automation work, and took on 2 direct reports. Based on my current responsibilities, my performance, and market data for this role, I would like to discuss a raise to $78,000. What would it take to get there? Stop. Then wait. The silence is the most powerful part of the entire conversation. Most people fill the silence by talking themselves down. They add qualifiers, they apologize, they reduce their own ask. Do not do that. Let the silence sit. Whatever your manager says next is the beginning of the negotiation, not the end of it. Now, the sentence I promised you. The 6 words most people never use in a salary conversation. When your employer gives you a number that is lower than what you asked for, you look at them, you pause, and you say, how did you arrive at that number? 6 words. How did you arrive at that number? It is not aggressive, it is not confrontational, it is a question. But it does something powerful. It puts the employer in the position of justifying their offer, not you defending your ask. Most employers have no answer for this, because the number was not based on rigorous data. It was based on the budget, minus a cushion, minus what they hoped you would accept. When you ask this question, they have to either justify the number with real data or admit there is flexibility. And 90% of the time, there is flexibility. The number moves, not always to what you asked for, but almost always UP from where they started. That one question has added thousands of dollars to offers for countless negotiators. Because nobody asks it, and employers expect you not to. Script 3. What to say when the company says they cannot move on base salary. This is where most people give up. This is where you actually start winning. Because if base salary is locked, almost everything else is not. Here is what to say. I understand the base is locked. I still want to make this work. Can we talk about other parts of the package? Then you ask for these specific things, one by one, separately, with a pause between each one. A signing bonus, typically between $5,000 and $15,000. This often comes from a different budget than base salary, so it is much easier to approve. Additional paid time off. Even 2 extra weeks is worth thousands in real value. A 6-month review instead of a 12-month review, with a defined salary target tied to specific performance goals. This lets you raise your base faster without waiting a full year. Remote work flexibility. 2 to 3 days a week from home saves thousands annually in commuting and childcare. Professional development budget. Certifications and courses that build your long-term earning power. Stock or equity. At growth stage companies, this can eventually outpace any base salary difference. Ask for these separately, not as a list, because a company that cannot move $10,000 on base might easily approve a $7,500 signing bonus plus an extra week of vacation. That combination is often worth more than the raise they said no to. Marcus sent the email. Use the exact template I just gave you. The company came back with 92,000, not the 98 he asked for. He did not accept. He asked the question, "How did you arrive at that number?" The recruiter paused, then said she could go to 96,000 if Marcus committed by end of week. But Marcus did not stop. He also asked for an $8,000 signing bonus and an accelerated 6-month review. He got both. Final package, 96,000 base, 8,000 signing bonus. First raise in 6 months instead of 12. The total gain over the original 87,000 offer was $17,000 in the first year alone, from 2 emails and 1 phone call. And every future job he takes, every future raise he negotiates, will be calculated as a percentage of a higher base. That is how one conversation becomes $1 million. Most salary negotiations are not won by aggressive people. They are won by people who did 15 minutes of research and knew exactly what to say. The employer expects you to ask. The data says 85% of those who ask get something, and the silence costs you over $1 million. Ask, with the script, with the pause, with the 6 words when they push back. Have you ever negotiated your salary? Drop one of these below. Yes. If you have successfully negotiated, never. If you have never asked, trying soon. If you have a negotiation coming up, scared. If the idea still terrifies you. No judgment. Wherever you are is the right place to start. If you want to know what to do with that extra money once you get it, my investing videos are on your screen right now. Subscribe to Wealth Storyline. Every week, we break down the money systems most Americans were never taught. See you there. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered financial advice.